Here's the disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. Cryptocurrencies are risky. Do your due diligence and invest at your own risk. You can lose money.
What's up, everyone? My name is J. Tragic Jeffrey. Welcome to Crypto Plunder, where there will be no champagne sipping, crypto pumping. I can only give you the real in the crypto world. Today is January 11th, 2018. We're going to talk about the news, of course, first before we go into what the markets look like, because news tends to dictate the market, right? So let's look at this. Nothing finalized, but South Korea government ministries diverge over crypto ban. So supposedly there's a crypto ban in South Korea getting ready to happen. I feel like this is another one of those, they want to be able to buy Bitcoin low. So let's throw out some FUD, get the price down. Let's go ahead and get our people involved in buying it up. Then we'll come back around, just like we saw in all these other places that talked about they were going to ban it, and then come right back around. And then as soon as the people that have the financial power are able to come back and say, okay, let's start dictating these laws again so that these guys, so we can make some money, and then we've locked everybody else out and we can make our profits. Now let's go ahead and legalize it. We've seen this time and time again. Plus, I said it was going to be, we're going to have a January dip. We are now almost pretty much confirmed. We'll go into it in a bit that we're in this dip now. So news ends up pulling it, and it's sad how almost systematic this crap is now. It's just about sad. So this, not surprised, but again, don't be surprised. Japan took a hard stance on crypto. Then what did they do? Turn right around and legalize it. So do not get surprised that this is happening. Then they're going to turn right around, get their legislations in place so that the powers that be can get their little grubby fingers greased, and then all of a sudden it'll be legal again. But this is the perfect opportunity. If you have not made any significant grabs of your purchases of your technologies, to potentially grab some, because fire sales are fire sales, people. And watch, by the end of the year, wherever we are in January, from the January 1, watch will be double that by the end of the year at bare minimum. At bare minimum. Watch what I tell you. So, we'll see what happens with that, but I'm not worried about it. Hey, you want to go, your country wants to go ahead and pull out, just means a buying frenzy for everybody else, because we're not dumb. This is new technology. All right, let's move on. Encryption becoming a public safety issue. I haven't read that one yet, but there's a lot of issues right now as far as technology and the chips from IBM having an issue, and now all chips potentially have a security flaw. So flaws in security, other things like quantum hacking. They're trying to make quantum resistant encryption. So blah. Now look at this. Remember what I just said about a government cracking down on cryptocurrency only to turn around and then make it legal for other people? Look, see, Russian Ministry of Labor, government workers exempt from declaring cryptocurrency gains. What did I tell you? As soon as the powers that be are allowed to be able to get their grubby fingers into the new, quote unquote, for them, an asset class. We know it's a technology, not an asset, right? This is the next version of a decentralized, I won't say protocol, but it's the decentralized net, right? The decentralized web. So of course, they're going to sit there and get their grubby paws, and now all of a sudden, now that the legislators can start getting their grubby mitts, get their fingers on some cash and they can, ooh, I've got some money. Now all of a sudden what they're going to start doing is start writing the laws that'll make it legal, but they'll do it in such a way where the rich keep getting richer and everybody else gets the finger. We're talking like a prostate exam. It's not a nice one. All right. So Goldman Sachs admits Bitcoin is real money, cites use cases in developing world. I told you this right after the July dip. I told you this right after Mr. J.P. Morgan. If you go back into one of my to my videos where I said J.P. Diamond, I basically called him the jackass of Wall Street. I said, but that these guys are going to come back around. You can't be surprised at this crap anymore. If a person does not understand a tech, of course they're going to bash it first. Go back in time. You have the internet. Go back and listen to all the pundits, everything they said about what the internet was. It's a fraud. It's a scam. You can't make money there. They're using it for drugs, pornography, blah, 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 blah. The list goes on and on. You hear the same crud over and over again. When it's new, they're scared of it. But then, of course, they're going to put fear in front of it so that you can get out. Run. So that they can go ahead and invest in and then mark it up and then sell it to you as a premium. Right? So don't get caught up in this BS. Now these people are coming around because now they have their grubby mitts in it. And they say, oh, it's in a developing world where the technology is going to be beneficial because we can bank the unbanked. Well, how about the developed world in which there's plenty of people in the world who don't have a bank account? See what I'm saying? Don't listen to them. Keep doing what you're doing because these guys, the technology cannot be denied. It can't. Processing power is processing power. Transactional power is transactional power. The artificial intelligence of the world is not going to be sitting on a Google server. There's not enough processing power. Google will not be able to process enough transactions to make that happen. Do you think virtual worlds with terabytes upon terabytes upon terabytes of high streaming data can live on an Amazon server by itself? Come on, man. This has to be decentralized. You got to think about the future of technology and just how much processing power it needs. A global computer is going to need a global AI, like an AI that's on every machine, whether it be an Amazon machine or an iPhone or whatever, and those phones are spread across the world. Do you think a few servers are going to be able to hold that? When it gets more successful and there's more data being transmitted back and forth, video data being that needs to be read, rendering data. Don't listen to these idiots. Don't listen to them. Don't care about that. Initial coin offering. Initial country offering is the next big thing. We already talked about this. I said, watch as every country begins to put their own coins in play. We already talked about this. Go back into my videos, you'll see. Yes, I know my videos are a little long. It's because I'm expounding for the people that don't understand the tech. Get it together, guys, because this is your opportunity. It only comes around this. I believe that this is one of the final technologies that will bring about a platform for artificial intelligence to live. And Elon Musk and plenty of other people who are way smarter than me have said AI will be the last invention that man will create. That AI will then create on its own and will be able to replicate on its own, and it will process and be faster than any human out there. So what platform does it live on? It daggone sure doesn't live on a Google platform. It will not live on Amazon. It will not live on Apple. It will live on a world computer. So get ready. This is the beginning of that. Let's see. No, don't care. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more coming up. I have the tab waiting there. I'm going to talk about that in a second. I just want to get through this. Venezuela Parliament calls presidents 5.9 billion petrol cryptocurrency, which 5.9 billion is ridiculous. Petrol currency, the new fraud. So yeah, I say for him, yes, that's a fraud because you can't even keep your own currency in check. Well, then again, what dictatorship or even central fiduciary entity can keep their currencies in play right now, especially if it's not based on anything. People say, oh, well, Bitcoin's not based on it. Yes, it is. Bitcoin's based on something. Hey, Bitcoin's not based on anything. It's just fake. No, it's not. It's processing power. It is distributed processing power, and people are earning for maintaining the network. That's no different than every IT person on the planet that maintained internal internet, right? Or people that are maintaining warehouses and warehouses of servers to maintain the internet, right? So now it's just decentralizing it so other people can get a piece of the pie of maintaining the global machine. It's not that hard of a damn concept. But people want to use a word like the cloud, which just meant servers, right? That's all the cloud was. Oh, it's the cloud. It's a server. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, digital automation with some intelligent thought, because it's still in AI, artificial intelligence is still stupid. It's not smart yet. All right, so don't get gassed. These coins that are coming up, don't get gassed on it. Kibo Lotto, I don't know anything about that. Who cares? Oh, it's sponsored news. Again, who cares? Wall Street strategist says, Tom Lee says Bitcoin could easily double in 2018. Yes, and I'll show you why he's right about that. South African Business School accepts Bitcoin. Come on, guys. See? Everybody else is going to be accepting this. Overstock already accepts it, but they did a mix-up with BCH. That's not really important. Not all doom and gloom for Chinese Bitcoin miners. Of course it's not, because they just want to put some legislation so the powers that be can get their payday, man. Come on. Everybody's trying to get their palms greased now. Everybody sees how much capital is running around and floating around. They want to get their palms greased. They're greedy. Crypto market in the red. We know that. Post ICO, we don't care. Blockchain applications for all walks of life. Of course, we're going to need that. Microsoft removes Bitcoin payment as an option for Microsoft Store. That's temporary. They do it because of Bitcoin price fluctuations. It's red news, but it's not. There's a lot of red news. Several withdrawn, so now people are pulling out their ETFs. Of course, because it's not a freaking currency. It's a technology. You can't have an ETF on a technology that you can't control, so that doesn't make sense to the powers that be, because they want controls, but they have to figure out a way around that. That's why they made the funds. So they're figuring ways around it, but people still want to try to throw their ETFs up because they're dumb. So I'm not surprised they got pulled, right? How to trade Bitcoin. You shouldn't be trading. You should be trading. You should be earning. Bitcoin struggles. Bears back in town. We called that there was going to be a January dip, and the FUD just helped it help it move. Kodak. I'm kind of digging what they're trying to do. I want to read more on what they're doing, but it's really interesting. Really interesting. And before the big South Korea ban, all of a sudden CoinMarketCap have removed the exchanges because their prices were too elevated. So I get where there needs to be some regulation in South Korea, because people were just buying coins at ridiculous prices, and it was throwing off everything else that was being maintained properly. There might have been some greed, there might have been some other things that were going on, there might have been some manipulation, we don't know. But it makes sense, right? The reason why I'm speeding through the news right now is I want to get to other things, but you see a lot of red news. There's a lot of red news going on. So red news, we know, red news, red day. Actually, let me move this down the line. My apologies. All right, red news, red day. So we're not surprised. Make sure you check out some of our news articles on Flipboard. Flipboard, we have some news that we keep an eye on. This is how we base a lot of our info and intel and what we're looking for. So make sure you check out the Flipboard. There's a lot of good stuff here, about what's going on with Goldman Sachs, Binance opening back up. Coinbase is not adding new currencies. Just go ahead and check that out. But I want to move on to the market. We said red news, red day. Let's go ahead and refresh real fast. Boom! You can see that change real fast. Down. Ripples up because of news about Western Union, using the tech, whatever. Don't really care. Still have the same issues I have with it that I talk about. So I'm not going to sit there and, because the news pumped it up, watch it'll go back down just like everything else, because it's not enough. And that's also why Stellar is up, because these two are kind of now, I'm starting to notice these two are kind of the 1 and 2 position. So this is like the Bitcoin of banking transactions, and this is kind of like trying to be the Ethereum of banking transactions. So we will see who's going to jump up on the list. But the market as a whole, if we just go ahead and sort this, we can see who's up. Binance Coin is up. Of course, their market is open to new people. The exchange. So I'm not surprised on that. I haven't checked out some of these. I have some EOS, some Stellar, Ripple, of course. Kind of trying to check out game credits. I keep seeing their name, and I'm kind of interested in what they're doing, so I need to do some more due diligence on that. Let's check out the top 100 losers. Dentacoin, not surprised, not surprised, not surprised. Don't even know what this is. I haven't looked into it yet, and I haven't. This one, not surprised on this one either. For the mobile devices, we were talking about it in the Discord room, and I was talking about the fact that they said that we're going to have PayPal as a way to make purchases for to purchase Dent, and there's not one person on the board of PayPal on the team, or they don't have anybody that they could even sit there and say that would be a possibility for that to happen without PayPal shutting them the heck down. Having come from a game like Second Life and seeing how hard it took for them, how long and hard it took for them to be able to have people cash out their Second Life Linden coins into PayPal fiat, how hard that was and how much drama they had for that. And anybody else that says they're going to do something else, and you're competing with AT&T, Verizon, and everything else, come on, man, stop it. That's why look at this. Circulating supply is over $1 billion, and the fact that if you look at the website and look at the roadmap, some of that stuff just seems, if you don't even have the team here in the United States to do some of that, and these are United States-based businesses, I don't see how they can pull that off. And so I'm not surprised that they're starting to see, people are starting to just peter out on them. Basic attention token is extremely interesting. Very interested in this, especially with the Brave browser. So interesting stuff going on with the market, but not really surprised. This dippage that's happening right now, not surprised on it. If I'm looking at Bitcoin's energy consumption index, do you see any fluctuation like we were dealing with, as we've been talking about? No, you see a rise in mining going on, a rise in it, like just boom, going back to the way it was right after the September dip, just fruit. So mining is still growing. Energy is still being used. We got 39.84 terawatt hours of energy per day being mined. That's crazy. That's great. But that shows that this isn't slowing down. So it's while it's surprising that this is having such a bad time, the market is as a whole down. It's not the tech, it's the news. Okay, let's go ahead and check out our seasons of Bitcoin. As you can see, we've been talking about this January dip. We've been talking about it. I said I wouldn't be surprised if I would love to see it get to about right down around here, but I don't know if we're going to go that low. Seems to be right around here. We're going to find maybe some support. It may break down lower. Again, if we look at this, we look at it January dip, and even to the 26th, and the first week of February, there was still a little weakness. And we've even seen some weakness. Like, see, January 25th, right here, there's some weakness. We've got some weakness right here around January 23rd. So there's historically been some weakness even in the third, fourth week of January, right? Is that the fourth week? No, that's third week. So about the third week of January, we even have more a little bit more weakness. So I think we have our dip here. I think that there's still some room for a dip to happen. Again, more FUD is going to come out because while everybody's just worrying about which exchanges are leaving and who's fudding out on it and who's calling it a scam or a fraud, people who have historically taken their profits over and over again. You take profits in January to have the cash flow capital to be able to move it into other technologies and or reinvest it other places or put it in funds that can, I won't say retirement funds, but put it in places where IRAs where you can now continue to earn and don't have the tax implication till next year, right? So that's the smart way to be able to handle your finances. So since we're close to the end of the week and I don't see the news changing, like that's why we start with the news first. So you can kind of see, from all the news that we've looked at, there doesn't seem to be any news that could really make a real heavy push to have a surge in Bitcoin pricing. There's nothing major that's happening that could give Bitcoin a surge right now, right? So there's too much red news. So we're having a red week, but we're expecting that we expected that. We talked about this in October. I think we talked about this even back in September when we called the September dip and said that right after, we started looking at it around September and saw that, hey, there's a potential dip in September. There's a potential dip in November. We got the November dip. I said that it might be a little weakness in December. Around the end of December, we got that weakness at the end of December. Even though the Civil War pulled this down, that was unexpected. That's why we kept this highlighted. Now we've got this dip right here, right? We've now probably can verify that we've got our January dip that we said would be right around here. The week of January 9th in 2017, the week of January 11th in 2016, right? And we still are waiting for some weakness towards the end of January. There's more people in crypto, so the red will be more pronounced and more defined because it'll be a larger scale. So look for, right now we've got I believe we have our January dip, which we talked about in December, which we talked about in November. So if you are looking to be able to put some in, this would probably be a good opportunity to do so. All right. So I believe we still have some weakness. We're looking for the next, what is it? We're going to be looking around January 22nd then. January 20 up until January 22nd to have our, a little bit, maybe some more weakness. Just look for FUD to see if it happens. And then from there, as you can see here, we should, because we said the first week of February as well, we had that happen right here. First week of February, a little weakness. First week of February, a little weakness. And then we go on a tear. And then we're looking for our March dip. We begin the process of our March dip. And that March dip can be a little bit of a long term too. See this March dip right here, February. Then we have a little bit of a March dip. March, right? And then we go here. Here's our March dip. March dip. And it can even roll into an April dip because we have a little bit of signs that there's a little bit of weakness in April. See, right there's a little weakness. We have here, there's a little weakness in April, April 10th. So we'll see if that actually shows up because we're starting to take notice that there might be a little April weakness. I haven't placed any April on the charts, but I put significant dips on the charts, and these are the dips that we're looking at right here. So we expected this January dip. We called this January dip. I think we can go ahead and say that we are in the January dip. The news is going to keep it down. Now, let's talk about Mr. Buffett. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Warren. Now, one of the things that a book that I read, and that is this book right here, is The Snowball and it's a really good book. I wanted to get an insight into the Oracle of Omaha's mind state. And one thing that I noticed about him is he's really quick to talk crap about a technology he doesn't understand, right? There are videos online. I'm going to talk about this in one of the articles I'm writing, a value investing article that I'm working on for the East Coast crypto community, where he even said back in the, I think is in 98 or early 90s, 80s, something like, I think it was the early 90s. He's on video saying that if he walks into an internet company and he asks them to evaluate a company, he would fail them on the spot or something like that. Or if he asked you about a tech company, he would fail you or fire you or something or other. He basically has gotten it wrong about the internet. It took Bill Gates to actually come into his home, with a computer and explain stuff for him to be able to mentally grasp the ramifications of a technology. Now, this is why I read about people that have power to talk on places like CNBC, especially if they've been around long and they're touted as being extremely smart about financials, right? When you see that somebody is quick to bash something, but he says, I get into enough trouble with things I think I know something about. Why in the world should I take a long or short position in something I don't know anything about? So he's been telling everybody, okay, get out. This is a fraud. It's going to crash. But you know what? He said the same thing about tech companies. So you're taking, and even in hindsight of having said, I've made a mistake. Like, here, Buffett, I was wrong on Google and too dumb to appreciate Amazon. Like, this guy doesn't get it, but but some, not you, but some people are taking his words as, oh my God, it's the Oracle of Omaha. He must know what he's talking about. No, he doesn't know crud about this. And that's okay that he doesn't, but he should shut his mouth. You're starting to see Jamie Dimon. Now that people have told me about it, and now that I kind of understand it, I'm kind of dumb for opening my mouth, talking about something I don't understand. Of course you don't understand this, man. Because it's not your business to understand this. In fact, most technology companies don't understand this. Mark Zuckerberg is just getting into understanding this. You're too late, Zuck. You're too late. This is not a company you can try to buy now. This is a technology you can probably try to maneuver it into your business format somehow, some way. But since you're such a centralized company and you rely on it being centralized, yes, you can put some of the fundamental technologies underpinning it underneath your software, maybe proof of stake, so it's not so processor heavy, to be able to kind of leverage some of your stuff off the platform. Maybe he can do that. We'll see whether or not he does. But see, with people like him, like Warren Buffett, he has professed ignorance on technology stocks. He'll avoid it, he'll bash it, but he doesn't understand it. Why did Warren Buffett struggle during the dot-com bubble? He figured that his value the world seemed like it turned upside down. Value investing no longer worked. It wasn't that it didn't work. It's just that he couldn't understand it to be able to make purchases in companies that he couldn't understand. Like, I didn't understand Amazon. I first one to say that. I should have bought some stock when I saw Amazon. But I thought, what, the bookstore? I don't see how that's going to work. What I didn't understand was the person behind the business. I didn't understand Bezos. I didn't understand just how just tyrannical that guy is, and just like he's Solomon Grundy of the tech world. Like he's almost unstoppable, right? I didn't understand Zuckerberg until I realized his mentor was Bill Gates to a little extent, and then I could see that weird maniacal way Gates was in Zuck. And I should have grabbed it up when it was like $10, $15 a share. But I didn't. Or put some options on it right before they started launching some other software, before they went mobile. But I didn't, because I didn't understand the person behind it. Now, there is no person behind Bitcoin. It's a technology that is being maintained by a vast majority. But the idea behind it, the white paper behind it, shows that Solomon Grundy, that art of war strategy that decimate your enemy type of feeling is in the white paper. And when you see that, you can't deny that, especially if you read it from a technological point of view, and you can understand the tech to a point. You can understand that decentralizing trust so that there's no central point of failure to dealing with the trust issues, that is huge. So when you're dealing with, and why I'm working on an article for Toxic Hustle today, on value, that is the one that should be released today. I'm working on a value investment strategy guide. And the reason why I want to bring up Warren, the reason why I want to bring up a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about is to kind of show you, again, you can't listen to a lot of the BS you're hearing in the media right now. You just can't. They do not understand this. This is not gold. This is not silver. This is not this is not real estate. You can't lump it into any of those boxes. They may want to lump it there, and they may try, but they're then going to have a bunch of people who are going to route around that issue. Like when I say, well, I'm buying software. What happens when Amazon has a coin? Well, was you going to stop Amazon? Well, Amazon's coin is going to be used to be able to pay, say, the people in its community to give them images for their cloud network. Maybe it's used to validate that. They might jump on that because of what they see with Kodak right now. Right? So the business ramifications for what blockchain technology brings, and the fact that it says, I'm going to decentralize the processing power to everyone, then fits into what Elon Musk and other big tech heads in the industry have said, that with automation coming in, it means the removal of a lot of middle to lower class jobs that can be done by a machine. Better, faster, and more efficient. And then businesses are like, well, we've got to show profits, so we can cut this out and put in a machine. It's the same thing that happened with the auto industry, right? Cut out the manpower, put in the machine, show them more profits. Oh yeah, we'll get people to maintain those machines, but then what happens when the machines can maintain themselves? When you have maintenance machines doing maintenance on the machines on the line, or the machine comes off the line, it's able to be automated to the point where it rolls off the line itself. It's not static anymore. Rolls off the line to go get its repairs and another machine comes in to fill its place. And the machine and the whole system is run completely automated, and it's on a decentralized platform. So every machine in the world is helping to validate the transactions of that one company's industrial robotic manufacturing plant. Do you see where I'm going with this? What happens when AI is decentralized? What happens when all the robots are decentralized and they're sending information and maintenance stuff back and forth? Efficiencies. This one's more efficient than this. What's its configuration? And sending that back and forth. This is the future of the business. What happens when you're in a virtual world? What's the currency there? Second Life already proved that that's what's going to be. And they already have a new virtual world that they're working on, Sansar. So, guys, this is where we're headed. Regardless of how these guys feel about it, it doesn't matter. Be smart when you're looking at these businesses and think about them for a 3 to 5 year lifespan. There's a lot of things that are in this field that need to be fixed. We're still at the baby steps. Like, we don't have a decentralized ISP. Net neutrality proved that we need it. We need mesh networks. Do we have a decentralized email system? We need that. Hell, passwords. All these password managers. Hey, somebody, work on a decentralized password manager. Right? These are the things. We have a browser. Maybe Brave browser puts it in there. Maybe Brave browser becomes that's a decentralized browser. We need decentralized hosting, decentralized name servers. I know Ethereum was working on it, but we need decentralized name servers, hosting, audio. Who's going to be the decentralized Spotify? Who's going to be decentralized YouTube? These are problems that need to be fixed, and there's no easy way to do it currently, but people are working on it. Is it peer-to-peer and decentralization? So using the two technologies in hand. There's already some proof of that working in some of the video platforms that are out there. So let's not get surprised. Let's start looking for value. Let's not get surprised that these guys are trying to push the value of this technology down. Oh, the blockchain works, but not the currency behind it. No, dummy. You can't have one without the other. The decentralized trust, if you're centralized, it defeats the purpose of having decentralized trust. You see how stupid that sounds? Like, oh, we want blockchain, but we want to centralize it. Why? You already have a centralized platform. Just keep working with what you got. Decentralization does not help you there. The reason why you want all these machines out here to do the validations and verifications for you is so that you don't have a centralized falling point. There's no fail point there. This is why the intranet didn't work. And companies finally just gave up on it for the most part. Right? So on Steemit, I'm talking about value. This is why I wanted to do this video today, to really push that point home, is to talk about why value is so important. What do you need to start thinking about? And I'll go more in depth in the article once I get finished writing it today. East Coast Crypto Discord, the value trading room. I've started getting in there and value investing room. I actually changed the name. The value investing room is there. I'll be in there starting to get pinning up some stuff in the pins for the articles that will be rolled out, so that people can start the process of looking for value. Value does not equal looking at charts. All right, let's get this in. Let's get it in place in your mind. When you're looking for value, value has nothing to do with the chart. Charts let you know when to get in. What's the best price? Is it too high? What's the surge? Hey, it's run up really kind of high. Will it come down? If it does come down, where's a good buy entry point? That's one thing. But value lets you know, hey, what's the technology do? Does it do anything? Is it just doing something that somebody else is doing? Who's the competitors? Who's the lead developer on it? Is there any videos out there that I can see who they are and get to see how passionate they are about the space? Because that's everything. What does the technology do? Is it going to be here for 3 to 5 years? Is it a utility, something that is usable, or is it just a white paper of an idea that may or may not get off the ground, or something better is already in place to dethrone it before it even starts? None of that has to do with the charts. That all has to do about the fundamental underlying technology, right? So East Coast Crypto, we have some great rooms. You can definitely learn about trading. Go into the there's the boiler room. The boiler room helped me understand the fundamentals of trading so that now I know when to buy in and out of the value plays that I'm purchasing. Right? The value technologies. I'm looking at the technology. Hey, is it a smart contract? Okay, great. There's who's 1, 2, and 3. Oh, you're doing video? Okay, who's doing video? What is it? What are you doing? How far along are you? What's the team look like? Have you been successful before? Or is this not going to fly because you don't know what you're doing and you're just spinning your wheels? If we learned anything from the dot bubble pop, is that just because it's an idea doesn't make it a good business. And how do you know what's a good business? It's studying who's in charge of it, who's maintaining it, and what's their ideas for the future, and how far along are they? If they're still in white paper, why do I want to invest in something that's still on the drawing board just so I can get in early? What if somebody else jumps the gun and beats them out? Now my money's tied up into something else. And I basically backed a loser. So East Coast crypto, the community is getting smarter. The community is getting stronger. Be sure to join the community. The link is in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share the videos with friends and family of the ones that are helping you the most. I try to do my videos as if everybody's just getting into it. That's why you keep hearing me repeat certain things over and over again about the base idea of the technology. Blockchain is not going to work without a cryptocurrency backend. And if everybody in tech is saying we're going to need some kind of universal income, where do you think that comes from? What? Charging companies to have an AI tax so they can go back to the people? We know tax never comes really to the people. It goes back into congressmen who spend it on flying private jets all day. So no, it doesn't come to us. It goes to their constituents and ends up going right back into corporate pockets. This is how you get a decentralized source of revenue for your people, where there's a universal income. It comes this way. This is how it works. It just makes sense. So subscribe to the channel if this is helpful to you, helpful to your business, because we should be thinking about this like businesses, not like investors. This is not something that you're investing in. It's something that you should be looking to see, hey, if I want to put my business on this, will it work? Is it working? Just like we're on Steem. Does this look like a cryptocurrency to you? This is why I say they're idiots. This does not look like a cryptocurrency. It looks like a blog portal. Right? It looks like a publishing platform. So subscribe if the information is helpful to you. Hit that bell, because if you don't hit the bell on YouTube, you won't be notified. Notification squad. No, you'll get notified. But if you don't hit the bell, you'll never see it. And if you are thinking about this for a long-term plan within your financial structure, then this should be your mantra. Bitcoin accepted here. It does not mean that you just have to have a shopping cart. It means you should be studying it, doing freelance jobs so you can put it on your resume. And so that maybe a job will hire you because of your cryptocurrency expertise. Jobs are starting to surge. 2018, we will see more employment in the blockchain/cryptocurrency space. So earning your Bitcoin could be as simple as doing freelance jobs. Go to Upwork, go to Fiverr.com. You can write white papers, you can do graphics, you can do video, explainer videos. There's plenty of work that needs to be done and not enough people to do it that understand it. So start looking at how you can start earning your Bitcoin or becoming a part of a cryptocurrency business model. All right, so I'm going to cut this now so I can go write the article for the value investing strategy guide. I want to thank you for spending time with me and watching the videos. I'm very appreciative. Thank you all for your time. All right, so that I am J Tragic Jeffrey. I will talk to you later. Peace out.